together that my rage knows no bounds!
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
And we're New York Jets fans. We're tired of this shit. Welcome, everyone, to the rebrand of Victory Monday, which is now called Just Embrace the Suffering. JETSC. Get it? Just Embrace the Anyway, we are presented by No Credentials Required in association with Belly Up Sports. My name is Ron McCarthy. I am one of the hosts of this sorry show. I wouldn't say sorry because we're gonna have some therapy tonight in regards to our New York Jets. I'll bring in my co-host in just a moment. We'll have some fun along the way. But before that, I just want to remind you to please go ahead and subscribe or follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for No Credentials Required. You can also find our other podcasts and written articles at bellyupsports.com. And on the podcast side, you can subscribe to the No Credentials Required OG podcast. You can find us on any podcast platform, including these above here. But this is a YouTube live show, so you can find us on YouTube. Or you can hit that notification bell. Hit that notification bell on Twitter. I still refuse to call it X. And on YouTube, so you know when this show goes live, when this iteration of No Credentials Required goes live, or the OG show on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and sometimes in between with the with various things we have going on in our life. Sometimes we do a special happy hour. Sometimes we do a lot sometimes we'll do special things like this Saturday. It'll be a 7:30 p.m. start as opposed to 10 a.m. because I will be out of town from Thursday through Friday, or Thursday through Saturday. I'll be back in town Saturday afternoon, and we'll do the show live on Saturday night for the OG show. But tonight, it's going to be all things New York Jets as we discuss the Jets getting absolutely cooked. Crickets. All right. As they got absolutely cooked by the Buffalo Bills yesterday by a score of 30-10. It was not even close. So we're going to bring my co-host in. He is South Florida's biggest Jets fan and also the biggest Panthers fan that I know. At least he's got that coming up. Dan Goldstein. Dan, good evening, I guess.
Is it hockey season yet? Is the season over? Is it week 17?
Close. We're this close.
Is the week 17 yet? Is this done? I'm ready for hockey season. I'm ready to quit already and just watch the Panthers at this point.
Well, the one positive I could say, and only one, besides Nick Folk hitting that field goal and Cade McNamara's punting game getting lots of reps as opposed to last week. It's only week 2. I mean, is there room for improvement? I don't know, but this week was a certain drop off as Josh Allen and the Bills go into MetLife in the air conditioner that is MetLife Stadium. They beat the New York Jets 30-10. This from the get-go, again, not even close. Had a little bit of optimism going into the game based on what happened last week. And in this game, it wasn't meant to be. Beaten by a better team, even with all the decimation of injuries they had on the other side of the ball, on the defensive side of the ball for the Bills. This team's better coached. This team is better established. This team is a winning culture. Unlike this particular team that we root for doesn't. Dan, go ahead. Let's have some therapy tonight. Let's go with this. Let's talk about this game.
I mean, the only good thing that came from yesterday was Jeremy Ruckert's first touchdown as a Jet. So the Long Island kid finally gets his first score as a Jet. So congratulations, Jeremy Ruckert. I'm glad you were able to check that off. It's been 3 long years for you. You know, you earned it. You deserve it. And that's really about all you can say. Any and all positivity got completely destroyed. The offensive line looked horrendous in the run game. Everything Armand Membu did right against TJ Watt, he did completely wrong against Joey Bosa.
Yeah.
The interior, even without Ed Oliver, the interior offensive line did zero against the Buffalo D tackles. They couldn't stop the linebackers from shooting the gap. They couldn't. Garrett Wilson was wide open consistently all game, and Justin Fields could not find him. I don't know if you watched any of the film, but Garrett Wilson is literally an elite separator, and yet Justin Fields was just so shell shocked from what happened so early in that game that he couldn't do anything. And there was so much additional yardage on the table that Justin Fields left there and that the run game couldn't come up with, that the pass game really had no shot. So, I mean, the Bills literally came out using corners on run blitzes and one safety high to basically dare the Jets to pass the ball, and they had no response for the defense right there at all. And Joey Bosa, like I said, he pretty much destroyed Membu almost all game long. I haven't looked at the PFF scores yet, so I don't know if anybody actually did good besides Jawan Briggs.
I think that they're coming out later tonight, or they're already out, or they come in tomorrow. But well, we got two Monday night games going on right now. There's one's going on right now, and the other one's going to happen in about an hour.
Yeah, I don't. So, I was looking for him before this came up. I couldn't seem to find him anywhere. It was just poor all over. I mean, they had no answer for anything. They looked like they quit early. It looked like Saleh and Bowles era Jets, where as soon as things went a slightly bit haywire, it was just like, fuck it, get us out of here. Let's just play these 60 minutes and be done.
Yeah, the PFF scores came out about around 1:00 tonight, 1:00 today. So
all right.
So I don't have access to premium, so I don't know where to go.
Well, usually
in terms of scores.
Well, you give your thoughts here. Let me see if I can find it. There's usually a couple Twitters that I have that can find it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get my thoughts and how this game was just absolute. Such a drop off and such a depressing drop off from the previous week. Let's talk about this offense. This offense in the first half, they had 6 negative plays. Now, I at one point I had counted 4, but then the graphic on CBS, and I'm actually kind of happy. I was at my local watering hole, and I did not have to hear Tony Romo absolutely verbally fillet Josh Allen, because we know the superstars, he likes to do that. And with certain other quarterbacks, the rest of the league, he has an indifference for, especially New York Jets quarterbacks, unless your name is Aaron Rodgers, but that's neither here nor there. This offense compared to last week was just, it was embarrassing. I hate to use the word for this group because it's their first year. It's the second game together as a unit. I mean, although you could argue last year, actually, no, most of the units been together for the last 3 or 4 years, but this was embarrassing. This is absolutely embarrassing. First series, it's a 3-and-out. Second series, it's a fumble. And again, the Bills scored on that after that first drive. They scored on their first drive. Again, aided by penalties that the Jets again self-inflict with themselves. It just seems like every single time they play a highly skilled team. I don't count the Steelers as a highly skilled team because most of their play is predicated on defense. It's predicated on what the defense does, and we all know that the Steelers have the highest paid defense in all of football, which is why that unit is always good. They're always elite, save for last week, and this past week against the Seahawks. I see one of our fellow Belly Up Sports contributors in the chat. He's a Seahawks fan. He's from Long Island. We'll get to your comments in just a second. But again, self-inflicted penalties on the defense helps the Bills march down the field. Granted, that Josh Allen run, which would have been, it was aided by a holding penalty by the Jets defense, even though there were some calls, I will say, ticky-tacky. Some of them were deserved, like that on the second drive when the Jets, I think it was the second or third drive when the Jets had the Bills at a 3rd and 19 after a intentional grounding penalty. Josh Allen throws towards his receiver. It's incomplete, but guess who rears his ugly head once again with an ill-timed penalty? Number 72 in the roster, number 1 on your hearts if you're Mrs. Clemens, Michael Clemens. Yes, get ready to speak Canadian, Michael. Just gotta say all I say about that. Hopefully, if Aaron Glenn has the same backbone like he had last week when they cut ties with Xavier Gibson, he'll do the same this week with Michael Clemens. And I understand they had to play Clemens repeatedly in this game because Jermaine Johnson went out with an ankle injury. Thankfully, it's nothing bad. He should be back next week. I saw his Twitter today saying, "Oh man, you had no idea this was, this was no idea." Because he thought, I think he might have thought it was another Achilles injury, but it just turned out to be an ankle. He twisted his ankle, and hopefully he'll be back for Sunday against the Buccaneers. But it just seemed like the first half, Buffalo could not be stopped. Absolutely could not be stopped between poor tackling, just the defensive line just getting shoved around. Unlike last week when they held the Steelers to less than, I want to say what 54 yards rushing total. Buffalo absolutely ran all over them. And no pun intended, but that's what happened. Buffalo literally ran the Jets into the ground. And every drive, it just seemed like every single drive, except for 2, the Bills scored in the first half. And it was 20-3. And I kind of sarcastically cheered when Nick Folk hit that field goal. I said, "What? At least they didn't get shut out." Not that it mattered. It was 20-0 at that point. And then the Jets offense and defense tried to get things going in the second half. Unfortunately, they allowed that long touchdown run by James Cook absolutely took the wind out of their sails. And that touchdown by Elijah Moore, which just rubbed the salt in the wound of every Jets fan who was like, why? Why? What was Elijah Moore? Like, had so much potential, but his attitude absolutely sucked. And now he's with a winning team, and obviously he's getting the ball and he's scoring. And just to rub that salt in the wound right in the face of the Jets. And the one thing I'm tired of with this Jets team, I've talked long enough. I'll get to your grades. I know you'll have your grades ready in just a moment, Dan. But the one thing that has plagued this team for so long, for as many years that this team has been together, the last 3-4 years, when they get behind early by double-digit points, they will. They absolutely just get in the field position and just repeatedly take kicks to the gut. And it's this hard. You have to figure one of these days they're going to grow up. One of these days they're going to get behind by 10. And this is what I was waiting for with the Aaron Glenn era. Having a team that would, if they get behind double digits, they get pissed off and they start punching back. This group doesn't seem to do that. I don't know if it's just the way it was before with Robert Saleh being buddy. Hey, come on, guys, we got this. Clapping and encouragement on the sideline. And you're just so used to getting beat down that they're like a scalded dog. And once they get hit, they go and cower, and they just keep getting repeatedly hit, and they can't seem to get up, and they can't seem to get pissed off. I don't want to seem to do anything about it. That's what I hate about this Jets team, and I was hoping Aaron Glenn would turn that attitude around. But the same self-inflicted penalties, the same unforced errors that always rear their ugly head. It happened again in this game.
It was just a typical Jets game is really what it was. They beat themselves early on. Like you said, they wilted and gave up as soon as they were down by 2 scores. They put together zero effort in any way, shape, or form past that point. It was just they just I don't know what was going on as far as that point goes. I mean, they literally just the only person that came to play yesterday was Austin McNamara and Jawan Briggs. That was pretty much it. Everybody else was just like, fuck this. We don't need to do this here. We're getting paid. So
no.
who really cares about what kind of effort we put in here? It really meant nothing. I mean, this is going to be, I mean, you got to figure it can only go up from here. I mean, you can't really get much lower of a performance than what happened this day. So it can only go further up from this game. But Aaron Glenn, he's got some work to do. Like it's still very clear. You have quite a bit of work to do because you just got your first taste of the coach of the same old Jets. So now how do you respond? Because now all eyes are on you. We've seen what we saw what Bowles tried to do. We saw what Saleh tried to do. We saw what I'm Adam so Gase. Brain dead from the Jets. Like who was even the coach before Bowles? Gase.
Rex Ryan.
Right. We saw that. I mean, that was when we actually had some success. We actually had a little bit of success for Rex Ryan here a little bit. It's just he wore out his welcome, basically. But since the Gase days, I mean, you're just looking at the exact same team and with different names, different nameplates over and over and over again. And it's just like, seriously, like where does it end? Like, where does it stop? So I don't know, man. That was just that was a brutal game to watch. That was one of the least fun games I think I've ever seen. And there's not really much to say about it. I mean, everybody knows the misery that comes with being a Jets fan. You literally just got to take this as it comes. We're used to taking it on the chin multiple times a season. So this isn't anything new to us. It's just unfortunate it continues to happen because at some point we would like a little modicum of success. Give me a 3-game win streak. When was the last time we had a 3-game win streak, for God's sakes?
It's a great question. I'm going to look it up.
I mean, like, good Lord. Good Lord. We got to address a couple of these comments here because I have some thoughts on them here.
I want to say it was 2023. No, it was 2019.
We're going on almost 6 seasons now with the 3-game win streak. That's pathetic.
And that was back in the Downtown Jets game, Downtown Jets days when I was covering the Jets for Downtown Sports Network.
Was it that long ago? My God.
Yeah, it was that long ago because I think it was the Raiders, the Redskins. They weren't at the time the Redskins, and I forget. Let me see, 2019 season.
Pull up some of these comments here from your boy.
Yeah, here. I want to address that.
I got to address something here.
Yeah, Dan from Long Island, from the Time to BS podcast, asking how long until the Quinnen trade requests come in. You get a lot back for Big Q. It's rare you get his nose tackle. He's not a nose tackle.
A nose tackle.
He's defensive tackle, and one who's good. He's better in a 4-3 than a 3-4. If he played 3-4, then he would be a nose tackle, but he's not a nose tackle. He's not big
enough to be nose tackle in a 3-4. No. He would be an oversized D end. Actually, he'd be an undersized D end.
He would be undersized. Not enough. Yeah. He says the Quinnen Williams trade rumors are going to speed up like wildfire the next few weeks. Big man is too damn good as a nose tackle. Again, he's not a nose tackle. He's an interior defensive lineman. He's too small to play nose. And he actually lost weight. He actually lost weight during the season. All the weight that he'd lost, Will McDonald put on.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
That's done nothing to this point to help with anything in his run defense. He was horrendous yesterday. He looked, I mean, he couldn't get a damn thing going. His tackling was terrible. And yeah, he had no shot at doing anything yesterday. Will McDonald, as good as he looked against the Steelers, was as bad as he looked against the Bills. And there's so much to say about this that I don't even know where I even want to start. There's so much to say.
And Dan apologized. He said, "Sorry guys, too used to the Jets being a 3-4." I think Rex Ryan had the 3-4 defense. Had a 3-4.
Adam Gase had 3-4 as well.
That's right, he did. He did. I haven't seen a 3-4 out of a Jets defense in so long, and that's the Greg Williams days too.
Yeah,
those are the Greg Williams 0 blitz days. Yeah,
actually, Bowles played Tampa too. Bowles was playing a lot of Tampa too, so he kind of mixed things up. He kind of mixed things up a little bit, but then Saleh came in and was pretty much predicated on 4-3.
Yeah, I think, and personally, I think Quinnen Williams is better in a 4-3 than a 3-4.
Oh, Quinnen Williams is a natural 3-tech. I don't even know how he would do in a 3-4. I don't really think he'd actually be anywhere near as effective as he is if he was in a 3-4 at all.
No.
Yeah, no, he has to play in a 4-3. He's not scheme. He's not scheme flexible. He has to play 3-tech in a 4-3. At best, he can play 2-eye tech, but he can't play any more interior than that.
No, he's too small. He's too big to play edge, and he's too much of a run stopper to play that position. He's too good in the interior. But yeah, I gotta talk about. I hate talking about this subject over and over again. I hate talking about this player over and over again. But the two players we thought, actually one of the three players that we thought would be gone after training camp, Malachi Corley, that came true. He didn't want to be a team player. Didn't want to play special teams. He's like, I'm here to play wide receiver. Well, that's great. That's you're here to play wide receiver, but we need to ask you to do more. And he's like, nuh-uh, I'm out of here. Gone to the Browns. Then you got Xavier Gipson, who had his one mistake, had his one chance to do something, fumbled twice, recovered one, and Steelers recovered the other fumble. He's gone. I believe he's now on the Giants practice squad. Good luck with that. And then the third player, who is too small to play interior, too slow to play the edge, would be perfect in a Canadian scheme. Michael Clemens. He has more penalties than I think sacks and tackles combined at this point in his NFL career. And I listened to I was listening to Jake Asman this morning, and they had the press conference, and they asked him about the penalty for Michael Clemens. It's like, look, we told him you can't do those plays, and yet they continue to put him in situations. It's like, guys, why is he here then? Why is he in this? Why is he here?
Right. Like, if he's going to be a detriment to your team, preach what you said. You proved it with Xavier Gipson. If you're not going to be here to help our team win, you're going to put us in losing situations. There's no place for you here. Michael Clemens is the Xavier Gipson of the defense.
Yeah.
He literally can't. He takes one step forward and then 5 backwards with his play. And it's just demoralizing. Like, how are you going to feel as a teammate where you're doing everything in your power to stop this Bills team, which is a team you absolutely have to play? You have to play clean if you want a chance to beat them. You cannot give them free yards, free plays, free downs. Like, you can't do it. They will make you pay every single time. You have to play a clean game against Josh Allen and the Bills. And how are you going to feel where on 3rd and 19, after you just got ran on the very first drive and scored, and then they kicked a field goal, I believe is what it was.
Yeah,
And
it was
then-
it was a field goal after that.
And
fumble
then it was the
recovery.
third drive. You finally had an opportunity to stop them. 3rd and 19. You pulled it off. And then he pulls that shit, bro. If I'm fucking Quincy Williams or I'm Quinnen Williams or I'm Sauce Gardner, I'm smacking the shit out of him. Like I'm walking up to him. I'm tapping him on the shoulder. I'm going to ask him to take his helmet off kindly. And I'm going to smack the shit out of him on the sidelines. Because at what point do you what do I need to do as a teammate to get you to understand how fucking angry your play makes me game in and game out? Because you're not getting it in the way we're doing this. No matter what we're talking to you, during the week, it's not helping. No matter what the coaches are telling you, it's not helping. At this point, I need to embarrass you. I'm going to bitch slap you on national television in front of everybody in order for you to understand just how poor you are to this team. And I don't, maybe that changes your mind. Maybe it doesn't, but at this point you deserve it. Like you deserve to have Quinnen Williams literally look at you, grab you by the collar and just backhand you in front of everybody. And you couldn't even argue the fact that he doesn't deserve it. It's so frustrating. I mean, it's literally what I said before the season. It's like the penalties have to be cleaned up. And I mean, everybody knew that. Like it's that I'm not telling anybody that, anything they didn't know. But so far through 2 weeks, literally nothing has changed. I mean, they might be the most penalized team in the league so far through the 2 weeks. If not, they're close.
Surprisingly, the Jets only had 5 penalties yesterday. Granted,
it felt like tremendously more.
It felt like more.
It felt like every other play must have been a yellow flag or something like that. Because every penalty they had came at such a poor, terrible moment when it came to the game. It wasn't even like it was a 1st and 10 and they got like a holding penalty and it just gave them a free first down. Like everything came at a time where it just deflated any momentum the defense was able to put together. And you just can't do it. Like you can't do it. Like you can play that way against the Jets and it might not bite you in the ass too bad. You could probably do that against the Dolphins and get away with it. But I mean, Buffalo, you're going to pay every time. You're going to pay every single time.
Yeah. Sean McDermott has this team running on clockwork. They're so dialed in. Josh Allen barely broke a sweat yesterday. Barely.
He didn't need to.
No,
he didn't need to. The Jets did it for him. With
the exception of getting popped in the face by Michael Clemens, which I saw him run to the sideline and took his helmet off and going, oh no, this might change everything. And it turned out not to be true. He put a tampon.
Mitch Trubisky comes in and
Mitchell Trubisky comes in and throws a dart to Elijah Moore.
Does a 31-yard dot to Elijah Moore, this first NFL play in like 2 years.
Yeah. And then Josh Allen puts a tampon in his nose, comes back into the game. And with the exception of those two, of the first of that series, and I think the last 2 series, offensive series of the games for the Bills, Josh Allen was in there. He barely has to do anything. They ran down the throats of the Jets, which you didn't see the week before. I was excited to see what kind of building blocks we would get from this Jets team. And it just turns out they're just the same old guys.
I mean,
the same old guys that they have been for the last 4 years.
We were all riding high on our moral victory. That's what was happening here. We were riding high on our moral victory. We thought everything was going to be good. The Jets actually showed they can play above their means. They don't really have a good wide receiver 2. They don't really have an established tight end 1. They don't really have anybody besides Brees or Garrett that can really force a defense to into a game plan. And yet we put up 32, in week 1 in a new scheme with a new coach and a new offensive coordinator and a new quarterback. And you were like, holy shit, like they actually figured something out. And and then they didn't. And then it was
No.
all gone at that point. It was all gone.
I wanted this team to be competitive at the very least. I know this team's not making the playoffs this year. Absolutely not making the playoffs this year. I figured, all right, their floor is 9 if they get some early wins. Their ceiling is 9. Their floor is 6. We're gonna get another 7-10 season. It's coming down the pike. I can feel it. You can feel it. And I at least wanted to see the Jets be competitive in games. They were competitive last week. They should have won last week. If there weren't for that Gibson fumble and that Quincy Williams penalty right after the Jets went up by 9. Those two plays turned the game around and turned that game around. I just want to see them compete against the likes of the Bills. Next week, they got a chance. They got to do the same thing again against the Buccaneers. This schedule is brutal up front. We knew it was going to be that way. The back end's not so bad because I think they only played 2 playoff teams after this from last season. The Ravens and the Bills in the last game of the season, and which will be the last regular season game in. I still call it Rich Stadium. Before the Kathy Hochul Memorial Stadium opens up next year. But the front of the schedule, you at least want to see them compete. They did not compete yesterday. They fell flat in their faces, like we're used to seeing the last 4 years with this group of guys. And I can't tell if it's just this group of guys and their attitude, or if it's just poor coaching, or it's just they have to find a way to renew their minds and think, okay, things got to change this year. Like, we're sick of this. We're sick of losing. But this team doesn't seem like it wants to be sick of losing. They just want to collect a paycheck, go home to their lovely wives or girlfriends, and just be done. I don't get it.
I mean, I don't either. You know, it's gonna just be, I don't know. You know, we might. Quinnen Williams has got to be sick to his fucking stomach at this point. I mean, he's been here since 2018 and hasn't experienced. And I mean, he came from a championship Alabama team and hasn't experienced a lick of a winning culture.
Nope. Since
he got into the NFL and is signed with the Jets. And at what point do you just like? Are you just like it's just? I mean, you're an ultimate competitor, and year in, year out, you put everything you can into it, and everybody around you just flails and forfeits at any given point. And it's just like, at what point does, does Quinnen just being like, I just don't want to deal with this anymore. Like, It's entirely possible Quinnen's just like, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it anymore. Like, you're just, nothing's changing. I don't want to be part of this. I want to experience some sort of winning in my NFL career. Like, trade me to a team that actually has a chance and, start your rebuild and, go from there. It just, I don't know, man. Sauce feels like the ultimate team player, but I could absolutely see Garrett Wilson just being like, I'm done. Like, I'm done. I don't know what it is. Like, Sauce just feels like he's down for the cause for anything and everything. But Garrett Wilson, to me, he has this kind of just strange aura about him. And this is just me just kind of guessing on anything here. But Garrett Wilson seems to have an aura where in like another year, if this is still this, if like another 2 years, I should say, if this is still on the table and Aaron Glenn is on the super hot seat and eventually gets fired, I just have a feeling that Garrett Wilson's going to be like, trade me. Like, just be done with it.
I know last year he was getting the pouts because Rodgers was thrown to his boy Devontae Adams.
Right.
I remember that from last year, but he still got 1,000 yards and 100 receptions.
That's understandable as far as that goes. Like, I get that. Like, you were promised to be a superstar here, and they bring in Aaron Rodgers, who you can't seem to get along with and figure out. and then they bring in his best buddy, and clearly like you become like second fiddle. And it's not right. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. Garrett Wilson's better than Davante Adams at this stage of their career. And, I understand, why his frustration boiled over here. But the issue is like, if the losing culture pertains, Garrett Wilson seems like the type where he's going to be like, I'm done. Like, I'm just not going to report anymore. I'm going to be over this. Like, I want out. Like, send me away and be done with it. And I mean, I don't really want that to happen. Like I want to see Garrett Wilson here. Like I want to see Sauce Gardner here. I want Quinnen Williams here. Like I want these guys to experience winning in a Jets uniform. And I mean, I want us to experience fucking winning in a Jets uniform at this point. It's been literally we're going on a decade and a half here.
Yep.
Where we haven't had any kind of sense of like a true winning season besides 2015. Which ended in the heartbreak of all heartbreaks. So it's just at this point now, there's so much damage control that needs to be done before things spiral off the rails. Because again, that wasn't even like you said, it wasn't even a competitive loss. That wasn't even like a respectable loss. Like that wasn't even like the week 1 loss where like a couple mistakes did you in. That was like a game from the whistle. You were terrible and just got worse as the game progressed.
Yep.
And if that's the product that continues to get put on the field, I mean, the fans are going to riot. I mean, Aaron Glenn be damned. Darren Muji be damned. Like, it's not going to matter at this point. I mean, they'll be on such a hot seat if the rest of the season goes anywhere remotely close to what just happened in Buffalo. Such a hot seat.
My hope is that Aaron Glenn's pride will have too much pride to let this happen again. But this is the growing pains of a new regime, of a new head coach, a new system, which this defense, I can't tell if it's Steve Wilks, his scheme, or the defense they're not on the right page. Nobody's on the right page. They had poor tackling. The line got run over. Defense is taking penalties in the secondary. And it just was one thing after another. I
mean, Brandon Stevens is the most frustrating player on the Jets in 2 weeks. He is the most frustrating player. And it's such a stain already on Muji's tenure as the GM that you gave this fucking guy $36 million contract.
23 million guaranteed.
Yeah. Like, it's such a stain on your GM already. Like, what did you see in the film that made you think that this guy was worth anything near what you paid him? Like, you got played by his agent so hard. It's crazy. Like, it's crazy. And
I learned. Go ahead.
I've just, like, you watched him yesterday, and like he just, again, it wasn't so much this time in like the pass game. I mean, yeah, he gave up a couple passes, but Josh Allen didn't really need to throw much to beat the Jets yesterday. So it really didn't really matter. But it's like you saw it in the way he takes angles. You saw it in the way he like attacks ball carriers. You see it in the way he chases down people. He has zero effort. That James Cook touchdown, he looked terrible. He took such a horrendous angle to try and cut James Cook. He ran right by him when Cook was able to cut the right, which left the field wide the hell open. James Cook was still on the 30-yard line heading towards the end zone. And by the time they got to the 20, Brandon Stevens is jogging. Like, you're a couple steps behind him. If you're going full throttle, maybe you could do something to stop it. Instead, you're jogging and just letting him have the touchdown. That is such pathetic loser football that if I was Steve Wilks and Aaron Glenn, you're benched. You're benched. I'm benching you already. I'm going to absolutely humiliate you on the stand for your effort. I'm going to humiliate you for your play these first 2 weeks. and I'm basically going to tell the media and everybody else that we overpaid you unless you can figure it the fuck out. And that's it. Like there's I don't care. Like I don't really I clearly they think AZ Thomas is not ready to take the field. Like they just think he's not ready. But at this point, what do you have to lose? Because at least he's going to be hungry.
Give him some reps.
At least he's going to be hungry. He's going to be a rookie. He's going to be wanting to prove his worth. He's going to want to really show what he's about. It's his first time out on the field. He's going to get his first NFL snaps. You can't be worse than what Brandon Stephens has been so far through the first 2 weeks of the NFL. You can't do it. You know, like I don't know what his PFF grade is. It's got to be in the bottom 10% of the set of cornerbacks in the NFL so far through 3 weeks. And I honestly, I mean, I don't watch every game for every team, but I find it difficult to imagine that any corner is currently playing an all-around worse game than what Brandon Stephens has done for the Jets so far. And when the fuck is our goddamn defense going to create a turnover?
Yeah.
I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of watching this bend play it safe defense. Like nobody's taught to punch out the ball. Nobody's taught on how to like get in front of a route and pick off a pass. Like it's just like at what point, like it's great when you keep breaking up passes, but at what point are you going to like actually turn the momentum and turn the field over? Like at what point are you going to be able to actually like break on that pass a half second earlier so you can pick it off instead of tip it down? At what point is a linebacker or a safety going to come up and try and punch? Like our guys keep going shoulder in on all their tackles, and they don't even attempt to pluck the ball out of whoever the carrier is on the other team. It doesn't happen. And like it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating to watch a whole new regime showing the exact same problems. The only upside we've seen so far is Tanner Engstrand is actually scheming players open. He's actually been very good up until this point. We saw the fruits of his labor in week 1 because Justin Fields was able to pull it off. But you'd have to go to the film this time to see how open Garrett Wilson was at times, and how open Mason Taylor was a couple of times, and how open Tyler Johnson was a couple of times. And Justin Fields just never looked the right way. It's just whoever was open, Justin Fields was looking at a different guy. Every time Garrett Wilson was open, Justin Fields was already running for his life, or he was looking for the tight end. Every time Mason Taylor or Jeremy Ruckert got open, he was looking at Garrett Wilson, who was double teamed. It's like he never figured out the Bills defense to be able to figure out where the read should go. And anytime he tried to change the play, it didn't work. The protection couldn't figure out the stunts. The protection couldn't stop on the single. You know, Joey Bosa was an absolute monster. That might have been Joey Bosa's best game of his career, honestly, at this point. And they had no answer for it. And this was a team that was down Ed Oliver. This is a team with AJ Epinesa, who has drastically underperformed his abilities, but even made him look better than what he is. And it's just, I mean, but that's what happens when you get to play the Jets. I mean, when you play the Jets, you usually get to overplay your abilities.
You look
because
like
they
an
bring the
all-pro.
best out of all their opponents.
Yeah, you look like an all-pro.
You play the Jets and you look like the best you're ever going to play. It's like, you know, you're going to have a career week in some way, shape, or form because you're coming up against the Jets. And I'm so sick of that. I'm so sick of that.
And it was Joey Bosa's hit that knocked Fields out of the game. It's.
I mean, I wasn't even watching by that point. I wasn't even watching. Like I told you, I quit. I quit on that game sometime in the third quarter.
I kept watching because I was pinned in by my friend who's a Bills fan.
Yeah, I quit on that game at some point in the early third quarter, and I was like, yeah, nothing good's gonna come from this game. I texted you that. Yeah, like, I quit this game. Nothing good's gonna come from this. Like, you can very clearly see.
I kept watching because as a football fan, I hate myself, so I kept watching. Sadomasochism at that point.
I'm trying to work on my mental health. I've lived with depression for a long time. I take medication. You know, I do are things that I need to do. I don't need the Jets to pull me back into it.
Nah.
You know, I care. The problem is that I care too much about something that ultimately doesn't affect my day-to-day life. And it's a problem. And I'm going to have to take a step back from caring so much until they give me a reason to start caring. At this point, I'm just going to be, oh, yeah, all right, cool. You know, they won. Oh, yeah, no, they lost again. Yeah, all right, whatever. You know, it literally affects my mood to a point where it's just not pleasant anymore.
Well, 3 weeks till hockey season starts.
I
But
can't wait. I literally can't wait, dude. I'm going to try and go to so many Panthers games. It's stupid. You know, I have so many NFL players that come into my work. I actually met Christian Wilkins today. He came into my work.
Did he give you a kiss on the forehead?
No.
I had to ask.
That's a big dude. Let me tell you, that's a big guy.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Nice as could be though. But like, I don't want to. I want the Panthers to come into my work. I need to figure out a way to get like Sasha Barkov and Sam Reinhart into my job, so I can start working on their vehicles.
It'll happen. Let's get some comments before we take our solo commercial break, and we'll talk about giving us the Buccaneers next week, even though I don't really want to. A new fan in the chat, Barney Miller, saying ex-Jets having good games yesterday. Elijah Moore, Bryce Huff, Sam Darnold. Anyone else? Jason Myers hit a 50-yard field goal against the Steelers. Devontae Adams had 6 receptions for over 100 yards and a touchdown for the Rams against the Titans. Those are the only two I looked up and I could think of.
I'm sure there's others because when you leave the Jets, you do a hell of a lot better. So
it's true. He also says, I think our record at the end of the year will be 7-10, 7 moral victories. No, there's 10 moral victories and 7 wins.
Yeah.
See, there's lessons. There's lessons. Floor will be 0. Yeah, I mean, everybody's floor is 0. Desi, who is our friend from Alabama, she loves herself some Quinnen Williams. She says, just be competitive. Yeah, that's what we wanted this year. But last week they were competitive. This week they were beaten down by a Bills team that looks like they're on a mission. That mission is Santa Clara. That's what their mission is. Barney saying, I just wanted this year to be fun. The D sucked both weeks, but the game with the Steelers was fun. My worry is that was our last fun game of the year.
No, I mean, we still get to play the Dolphins.
Get to play the Dolphins on Monday night in a couple of weeks.
I won't be. I don't know if I'll be able to watch that game. I'm road tripping to Pittsburgh literally that night.
Hey, look at you, world traveler.
Yeah, I have to. I should be somewhere around North Carolina, hopefully, by the time that game starts. So I might be able to chill in my hotel and watch that game while I continue the drive for the next day.
I might do a live stream then.
I won't be around. I won't be around.
I know you won't be around. I know you won't be around, but since you're not going to be around, people might have to watch my misery with me or my elation because they're playing the Dolphins who are dog water right now. Desi saying, I don't know if this team can beat the Bucs.
Oh, I doubt it. I mean, the Bucs defense is terrible, but man, Baker Mayfield looks like a brand new dude. Mayfield looks like a brand new dude, and Emeka Egbuka is nasty.
Oh, I remember when I was clamoring for Baker Mayfield. I was clamoring for Baker Mayfield in the 2018 draft. I wanted Baker Mayfield instead of Sam Darnold.
We all thought we were going to get Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, but Mike McCagnon was so in love with Sam Darnold since like high school that he wanted Sam Darnold. He got Sam Darnold. And I will say this. You talked about Quinnen Williams having a competitive team. That 2019 team, if Sam Darnold doesn't get mono and CJ Mosley doesn't tear his groin against the Bills in week 1, that team goes to the playoffs, I think. In my humble opinion.
It's it's fun to speculate. There's no guarantee on anything, obviously, because again, the Jets can jet and just figure out ways to lose that other teams just you've never seen before. But it's entirely possible. I mean, if CJ Mosley was able to play like he did that first half against Buffalo all season, he would
What a
they would
half.
have been he would have been a crowned Hall of Famer by the time that season was over. I mean,
DPOY, but
yeah,
that was
seriously.
29. That was that. I don't like playing. I mean, the what ifs are fun, but the what ifs also give my reflex a get my reflex get my reflex. Bills won a close game with the Ravens, but they got mad and came out hot. We lost a close game came out flat as a pancake. Yeah, I mean this group just seems to wilt when they get punched in the face multiple times to begin the game, and then they just go in the field position.
And there's a difference between a winning and a losing culture.
Yeah. Q has to play better. Garrett has to play better. Hall has to play better. Why? Because the rest of the team sucks.
Look, there's only so much you can do. Like as Q, as Garrett, as Hall, like you can't ask Garrett to catch 15 balls for 208 yards and 4 scores. And you can't ask Breece Hall to have 9 yards a carry average and 2 touchdowns and have multiple 40-yard explosive plays. And you can't ask Q to have 13 quarterback pressures, 2 sacks, and 14 tackles for loss like every week. Like you just can't do it. Like you have to have you have to try and elevate the others around you in order to field a more competitive roster. You can't put it all on just a handful of guys to win you a game. It doesn't work that way. This is a team sport. This isn't tennis. This isn't volleyball. This isn't a game where one's really ridiculously good player can carry a team to victory. You have to be able to figure out how to elevate those around you that aren't at your talent level. So at what point where it's just like, what more can you do? Like if the offensive line isn't there, I don't understand what you want Breece Hall to do at this point. I mean, he can only, he can magician once or two, a couple of times, but you can't magician every single play, and Garrett, I mean, what more do you want? He's literally like, Garrett Wilson right now, arguably, is probably getting the most separation in the league in coverage against the people he's playing against. But at the same time, you have to be able to find him the way to get the ball. And it's just like, how do you do it?
You can't. Barney's saying, sorry for so many comments. You don't have to read them all. I just need mental help. Don't we all?
Yeah.
Desi giving you some encouragement. Desi's an encourager. She said, Dan, don't let the game do that to you. You have to take care of your mental health. You've come a long way. There are a lot of people rooting for you. This guy,
I appreciate that, Desi. That's very nice.
Chat.
I've gone through
a
hell of a lot. Hey,
guys are in the chat. Look at that guy.
We got a celebrity in the chat. That's awesome.
He says, Jets football, the pain never ends, baby. Ryan McCarthy for life. And Danny Goldstein for life, too.
I've been on the show a couple of times, Jake. I've called in and me and you had a couple of conversations. It's been a while, though. This is when we were debating if Lamar Jackson was going to make it to the team. That was the last time I was able to call in on the show.
He didn't. Sad. And by the way, let me some beach volleyball. Come on.
Yeah. I just, what are you going to do? And now
you gotta laugh. You gotta laugh, Dan.
And now,
if you don't laugh, you gotta. It's not. It's nothing else.
Now we got to see what we can do here because now Justin Fields has a concussion. It's confirmed a concussion. How bad of a concussion is, we don't know yet. Mm-hmm. So, do we even have Justin Fields to go against the Bucs? I don't know. We'll see. And if we don't, what if Tyrod Taylor comes out and he goes 18 for 24 with 216 yards and 3 touchdowns, and we beat Tampa Bay with Tyrod Taylor? Do you then keep him on the field and bench Justin Fields?
Your mouth to God's ears. Barney also says, read this one. Jake is on every Jet content show. I think he cloned himself with AI. All right, we got to take our one and only commercial break, which is going to be...
We waited way too long to do that, by the way.
What's that?
The commercial break.
Oh, it's only an ad read. It's not that bad. It's only 45 seconds if I can find what I'm looking for. There it is. All right. Fanatics is our affiliate sponsor for this particular show. Being a fan isn't just about game day, it's about every day. At Fanatics, we've got the gear to rep your team and the memorabilia to make it unforgettable. From jerseys to limited edition collectibles, from the stands to your shelf, it's all here. Fan gear, fan moments, Fanatics. Affiliate link is in the description on the YouTube and the Facebook side. This is the affiliate link that helps our show for no credentials required, also for Just Embrace the Suffering. And I am currently wearing this New York Jets alternate logo hoodie because in the Northeast, we are quickly approaching shorts and hoodie season, baby. Shorts and hoodie season is where it's at, especially for us bigger guys. That's our time to shine. It's our time to shine, man. It's a shorts and hoodie season, but you can get a hoodie like this and other hoodies, as well as other memorabilia, and also the apparel for New York Jets. It's not just New York Jets, but it's also, for Dan. He loves his Florida Panthers. Got plenty of NHL gear. I got my New Jersey Devils workout shirt under this particular hoodie. NCAA, Major League Baseball playoffs are coming soon. NBA is coming back. And other sports as well. NASCAR, MLS, even PLL, the Premier Lacrosse League that just completed their season yesterday. And a New York team won a title. The New York Atlas. Congratulations to them. You can find all that gear and more at Fanatics. Links in the description. That's the affiliate link for this show. You help us out with every order. We get a little bit back. Barney saying, "Stocky men looking forward to the fall." Shout out. That's right. Let's go. Dan's in Florida. He doesn't know what fall is.
Yeah, what is that?
That's when the leaves turn and it gets colder.
Palm trees' leaves don't change color.
Well, I'm talking about like oak trees, maple trees.
I don't know what that is. I'm surrounded by palm trees.
No, you that's right. You don't. Someday you'll experience it. Hopefully soon. Does he saying I'm ready for hockey? Me too. I love me some New Jersey Devils. They still need some bottom six scoring. They need to sign Luke Hughes to a long-term deal. But yeah. Dan says nice hoodie, but I think he meant Ryan.
Probably.
Dan's got himself a white beta run. And does he saying sweater weta? Hi, Mrs. Goldstein.
Ryan says hello since you interrupted the show.
Hi, Mrs. Goldstein. I'm being ignored and rightly so. All right, let's preview shortly. We got a couple minutes left in the show. Let's preview next Sunday's game at Tampa Bay. It's a 1:00 start on Fox. I don't know. Barney wants to ask. I mean, isn't that wife beater a Florida hoodie?
Yes.
Yep, it is.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, it is.
All right. Next Sunday at Tampa Bay, 1:00 start on Fox. I know there's gonna be plenty of Jets fans going to that game from the Maniacs. He's got a bunch. You got a couple sections sold, and got some Jets fans going to meet down there. Wish I was joining you, but other priorities.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Priorities.
I wish I could look. I wish I could go. I wish if this game was later in the season, I could pull this off, but I can't do it unfortunately now because Tampa's about 4 hours from me.
Nice.
So it's not that bad. I could easily drive to Tampa and go to the game and then just drive right back and still be back by like 10:30.
That's a drive to I think that's a drive to Foxborough and back for me.
Yeah. I mean, Tampa's 4 hours from where I live, so it would. I could definitely. Again, if this was like week 10, we were playing Tampa, I'd probably plan on going. But unfortunately, it's just not in the cards for me this early in the season.
Desi says, Dan, I feel you. Be on the Gulf. We don't have much of a fall over winter. She's in the Gulf.
At least you're on the Gulf. At least you're in the Gulf, though. You have such nicer beaches and such nicer thing than the Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean sucks.
I do want to go to an Orange Beach though. I've always wanted to go there. Looks nice.
Where?
Orange Beach in Alabama. It's on the Gulf.
No idea. If it's not Florida, I couldn't tell you.
That's okay. That's all right. Speaking of Florida, Jets are at Tampa. Dan, I know it's not looking great right now, but any given Sunday, anything can happen. What do the Jets need to do to beat Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are currently losing at last count, 19-14? So, but let's talk about this. Let's talk about this particular game that's coming up on Sunday.
I you got to figure out a way to pressure and contain Baker Mayfield, because Baker Mayfield will kill you if he's able to get out of the pocket and freelance. So you have to be able to pressure him from the edges and keep him in the pocket so that he doesn't get extra room to do his freelancing. So that's my game plan, is for the D line to play contain and try and keep pressure going up the middle. So if I'm the Jets, I'm going to run a lot of outside blitzes to try and force him through the middle so he doesn't get that extra space on the edge. And I'm probably going to throw some corner blitzes in there too, to really just kind of surprise him and throw off their timing and their rhythm. So that's the thing on defense there, is to really just keep Baker Mayfield very uncomfortable. If you can keep him uncomfortable, then I think you kind of have a chance there to actually pull something off. As far as offense goes, I mean, you got to establish something. You got to establish something fast. You can't have any kind of a slow start. You have got to set a tempo. You've got to set a rhythm. You've got to set a tone. You can't have 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and then expect anything to change. There has got to be some sustained drives. There's got to be some explosive plays. There's got to be some high energy right out of the gate. And you could say that about any team, but it's crucially important for the Jets, because it shows that the funk hasn't withheld from the prior week. Mm-hmm. And, that's going to be very, very important for them if they want to have any chance at being able to pull this off. So to me, those are the big things there. Is establish your tone early, get your chunk yardage, show that you have a plan for success, and basically just keep Baker Mayfield in the pocket and uncomfortable. And you might actually have a chance at this.
I want to see the aggression when they had a week 1 return this week. I want to see, and I want to see it against a former Jets coach. Now, I'm like, let's go. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles was that like geeky, nerdy, awkward guy who was super smart, but knew football. Like, he was that guy in New York when he was the coach of the Jets. It was his first outing. It was his first time as a head coach. We knew what he could do as defensive coordinator. We knew how he could see with defense. Offensively, the Jets did not, outside of 2015 and 2016, they did not have the talent on offense to sustain success in that city. Get aggressive. Not penalty aggressive like Michael Clemens. I want them to get the ball first, run it down the Panthers' throat, the Buccaneers' throats. I want to see a sustained drive on the first drive of the game. None of this 3 and out BS. None of this coughing up the football, getting it punched out by Hassan Reddick, who you're going to see again on the other side of the ball. I don't want to see that. I want to see aggression. I want to see them feed Brees. I want to see them feed Brees. I want to see them get some passes to Garrett Wilson. Get some. Let's see what they did against Green Bay in that preseason game on the first and only drive that the starters had. That was crisp. That was efficient. They knew what they were going to do before the ball was snapped. Because this team had they got outgained by over almost 200 yards yesterday. Yes, the Jets had 100 yards on the ground, but it was a team effort. And negative 10 of those yards was Arian Smith on an end around. That was one of those 6 plays for a loss on 6 plays for a loss in the first half. So I want to see some aggression on offense, especially on defense. I also want to see the same aggression. Dial up a safety blitz, dial up a corner blitz. We saw what they did yesterday. I mean, you didn't watch it because you were done by then, but we saw a corner blitz dialed up, and Sauce Gardner got to Josh Allen, didn't wrap him up, tried to wrap him up top in his shoulders, didn't wrap him up in his legs or his hips, but he got to him. We know what this team can do on a corner blitz, which you didn't see a whole lot of in the Saleh era. So I want to see that aggression. I want to see a turnover. I want at least one turnover. At least one. My kingdom for a turnover. Please, just one turnover in this game. And it could possibly happen against the Buccaneers. Although Baker Mayfield has no interceptions tonight, so but it could happen. It could happen. So I want to see aggression. I want to see him get after Baker Mayfield like you. I want to see them pound the rock, ground and pound, just like the Rex Ryan days. And I want to see special teams play well too. If it comes down to a game-winning field goal to Nick Folk, he can get it. He can nail it. So our mouths to God's ears. Hopefully we don't start 0-3. And it's on to Miami, and it's a desperate situation to keep out of the get one in the win column. Let's surprise some people. Let's shock some people. Hopefully they do it in this game. And it looks like it's a walk-off home run. Walk-off touchdown for Baker Mayfield. Buccaneers win 20-19.
Oh, did they?
Yep.
Jesus.
Touchdown pass in the last play of the game, it looks like.
Wow.
Yep. Baker Mayfield, the two-down touchdown run for Rachaad White. Done so. Before we go, get a couple comments in the comment section. Desi saying, Dan, you should visit Opal Beach. It's near Navarro Beach, east of Pensacola. You have less people, but the sand and water is just as pretty as Destin or Panama City.
That's so far away from me. That's like 12 hours away. I don't see myself making my way into the Panhandle. That's too far.
And Barney saying, give us an update, saying looks like the Bucs are going to win 2019 with 6 seconds left. And it's done. Buccaneers 2-0. And they go back to Tampa for their home opener tomorrow night or Sunday night or Sunday afternoon. So let's spoil this party. Hopefully the Jets can spoil this party. Not holding my breath, but
if you're a betting man, you want to take the Tampa Bay with the spread.
I believe right now it's a 6.5 point. It's a 6.5.
Oh my God, you absolutely want to take that. That's free money to anybody that's a betting person.
Let's see what the current line is. 6.5.
If it's 6.5, that's free money. Lock it in now before it goes up.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you for joining us on Just Embrace the Suffering, JETS, presented by No Credentials Required in association with Belly Up Sports. For Dan Goldstein, I'm Ryan McCarthy. We'll be back here next Monday. Hopefully, the suffering will be alleviated, but we're gonna brace it until then. In the meantime, have a safe week. No Credentials Required. The OG show back tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll be reviewing the rest of the NFL, which makes me a lot happier than right now. But we'll be reviewing the rest of the NFL, week 2. What impressed us, who was disappointing, other than the Jets. But we'll get to that tomorrow night, 6:30. And on Saturday, we'll have a special 7:30 p.m. show because I'll be out of town, and we'll be back until Saturday afternoon. But until then, have a great week. We'll see an OG show tomorrow. Just Embrace the Suffering. Back here next Monday, 8:45 p.m. Eastern time. Again, for Dan, I'm Ryan. Take care. Have a great night.
Dolphins blow.
0-2.
Nice.
I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.